Each morning, real setups are broken down with entry strategies and technical reasoning behind every trade. This is today's best trade setups with Verified Investing.
Welcome to today's best trade setups. My name is Benjamin Poole, head trader here at Verified Investing. Today, we're going to talk about gold and silver miners. They are ripping on the back of gold and silver, continuing to push higher. Silver finally broke $92 an ounce. Absolutely incredible. I do have an upside target of about $92.50 today. If it gets up there, I will take it as a short in SLV in the live day trading room. The last time I gave a level, it got really close to that particular level before it pulled back. I do anticipate a little bit of a pullback. This is not necessarily the top in silver, but this would be a key technical resistance level that I would decide to trade. And I'm going to go over a couple different miners. PDD is also dropping a little bit. Intel is heading a little bit higher today. So I have some support and or resistance levels on those charts. And then we've got a couple staples that we go over: Oracle, ORCL, and then AMD. I did go over AVGO, but it's not really doing anything. But let's go ahead and just jump into the chart of Oracle. Right now, I did exit my swing trade the other day on ORCU. Now we have the first shortable level here at $210.57. If it does get a nice bid to the upside, you're going to have this wide range red bar candle, which is a previous gap in the charts, as well as this wide range green bar candle as additional resistance. So I like the $210.50 257 level. If it gets up a little bit higher, $223.14 is the gap fill in the charts. This will be a key resistance level for today's trading action as well. If for some reason we get a nice bit of the downside, $189.03 is going to be some support. But for me, I'm still waiting for a potential retrace back down to $180.04. Let's jump into AMD. I want you guys to take note of wide range red bar candles. Although they're not gap fills when it gets to the upper end of wide range red bar candles, there are a lot of people who are usually stuck inside of these. So once price action gets up to the upper end of the wide range red bar candle, and it has to be a significant red bar candle, you're usually going to get a rejection. And that's what happened here. It got up to $222.71 on AMD. So for me, my first shortable level would be around $230.30 based on this wide range red bar candle. But ultimately, I'm looking at $232.70 for a day trade as well. And knowing that I've got resistance here, I would start a position here and then add it to $232.70. You do have additional resistance at $240.52 on the upside if it does decide to break through this wide range red bar candle, where there should be, again, significant selling pressure inside of this. SanDisk is pushing up today. I was really anticipating a break of the $400 level. It got up to $398.44. So today, $410.82 is still my upside resistance level, knowing that I may have to dollar cost average into this. And so what I would do is every $5 higher, first level of resistance is going to be 410, and then 415, 420. And then ultimately for me, today's max upside I see on SanDisk is $425 before this incredible sell-off that I think is going to happen in the chart of SanDisk. I still have it coming back down to about $283.07. That would just be a retrace of the scene of the crime after this breakout to the upside. MU is creating this nice little wedge pattern. I decided that I was going to take advantage of the key psychological resistance level at $350 Pierce. We took that in the live day trading room. Now it's in this nice wedge pattern. So let's go ahead and take a look at this for potential movement to the downside. Here's this upsloping trend line, the upper end of the wedge pattern. Here's this lower upsloping trend line, the lower end of the wedge pattern. Right now, it could still consolidate a little bit more over the next couple of days. So for me, $360 is where my shortable level would be today. Now, if we start breaking down below this upsloping trend line right here, breaking this wedge pattern, I'm not shorting this on a break. What I'm going to wait for to happen is a breakdown, maybe get down to about $326, confirm below it, and then wait for a retrace to the scene of the crime, which would likely take it up to about $356 to $360 on a retrace on MU. And that's where I would start shorting MU on a retrace to the scene of the crime. AG, let's go ahead and go into some silver miners, or at least one, and that's AG. So this is First Majestic Silver. You have this gap fill in the charts that goes back to the highs of 20, or not the highs, but a gap fill that goes back to 2021. If it can get up to this level, you're going to have a significant sell-off. Let's go ahead and jump into the charts of AG. With the price action of silver moving higher, we are stalling out right here at this high pivot at $20.66 on AG. First Majestic, $22.12 is a swing trade level for me on the chart of AG. Look at the move that it's had from the lows of March 2024 to the highs right here on AG. This was trading at $4.22. This is why some people really love the gold and silver miners, up about 400% from those lows in just less than a year, or about 2 years. This is an incredible move. So again, for me, $22.12 is that first level of rejection, and this would be a swing trade basis. Newmont Mining, $120. I have this upswing trend line. Here's a first pivot top, and this goes back to the highs of 2016. Secondary pivot high from April 2022. Third high right here that we're busting above. So now that we're close to the $120 level, I can anticipate price action getting close to this level, maybe $119 before an eventual rollover. You're going to get a nice rejection of the $120 level. I would be looking for about a 3 to 4% pullback on the chart of Newmont Mining. It is starting to look more overly extended to the upside, so it does favor more of a pullback of 10, 15, even 20%. And so, again, I'm eyeing the 120 level, or even 125 for a potential swing trade basis, especially knowing that I've got this other support level right here that price action is likely to come back and retest this upswing trend line. And so if we can get a nice pullback, that would be a solid 15% pullback, just getting back to this upswing trend line. So that's what I have on the charts of that Newmont Mining. PDD is dropping a little bit today. It never got to my gap fill in the charts yesterday for a trade. Now I've got a minor gap fill that is a little bit of a support. However, I'm eyeing the $105 level for support and a day trade today on Pinduoduo. Here's the chart of PDD. Right now, this was my level yesterday at about $109.51. If it dropped, now that it's dropped below that, you've got this minor support, this minor pivot in the charts, or this gap fill at $105.79. But for me, I'm eyeing 105 in the charts of PDD. This is going to be not only a wide range red bar candle, but also the gap fill, knowing that we could flush and get all the way down to about $104.19. If it starts closing below that on a 15-minute closing basis, then I would stop out and look for additional support levels. Let's go ahead and just jump into the chart of silver. It had a decent pullback before I got on the mic, and now it's pushing back up, looking to hit this $92.50 an ounce on silver. Look at the momentum. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 extended moves to the upside. Doesn't necessarily mean it's overly exhausted. You could go up another couple days, but right now, 92.5 is where that significant psychological resistance level is going to be, knowing that it could push up to $95. For me, $95 would be the max upside. So on SLV, which I would trade today on a shorting basis, is I would dollar cost average every 50 to 60 cents higher on this trade. Now, JP Morgan's had this decent sell-off. We're going to go ahead and look at a parallel channel in the charts of JP Morgan to see where the potential support level is going to be on this chart. So here's this parallel channel that I've drawn. So I've connected this pivot top right here from the highs of February, secondary pivot tops from the highs of September 2025. Third hit, we did bust above it. Then we got a nice rejection, actually got below the middle line of this parallel channel. Now my downside is this about around the $300 level. Not only do you have this wide range red bar candle, previous gap in the charts, but then you had a following green bar candle that drove price up. So if it gets back into the $300 level, this would be a great buying opportunity. If we start breaking below this upsloping parallel channel, you could see a pretty significant sell-off. You could even have it come back to this top double top at about $280.50 right in this area right here. Intel is another stock that's moving on the upside today. An aggressive level today is $49.55. Intel can move about 9, 10, 11% on the day. So from the closing bell all the way up to this first level, it's only about a 5% move. I would be waiting for this $51.28 level for a less aggressive, more conservative entry price. But you should start getting $51.28 level as a pretty solid rejection. And this could be a potential swing trade level as well. So let's go ahead and jump out of the charts, zoom out a little bit. Here's this gap fill. This goes back to the highs of January 2024. And then the secondary pivot top at $51.28. You're starting to get overly extended on Intel. So this could be a 10 to 15% pullback from the top of $51.28. Last chart I'm going to go over is IREN. I had this as a potential short opportunity yesterday. I still love the fact that you've got this wide range red bar candle, huge gap in the charts with this nice sell-off. Once price action gets into this gap again at $55.70, you should get a pretty solid rejection. Could go all the way back to the upper end at $58.29. So I'd be a little bit more conservative, maybe start with about a 1/10 position, dollar cost average all the way up to that upper end of the red bar candle. And then you've got a gap fill above that as well as additional resistance. IREN is a stock that can really move, get some momentum behind it. So that's why I'm going to be a little bit more conservative. This is not a swing trade level. This is a day trade level. So that's what I have for you guys this morning. Thank you for joining me this morning at 8:45. Gear Solo is going to be going live in less than 3 minutes. You guys don't want to miss that. And if you guys are getting something out of this, please make sure you're liking, you're following, subscribing, and sharing with those friends so that way they can get the same market information that you get. And with that said, we'll see you guys next time in the church. You guys have a great rest of your day.